Peace and love spread throughout the ether. This message comes to y'all with love, peace, and respect. But it's also free game, y'all. Do y'all realize that being a Christian was forced on you? Being a Christian was forced on the world. Like, most of us had no choice. Some of you today had no choice because your parents forced it on you. Even now, if you decided you don't want to be a Christian, everybody look at you crazy. One thing a lot of people don't realize is the Inquisition. The thing that was going on where for centuries, Christians were going around forcing people to be in their religion. They were an army before they were before they were a religion. The Christian Crusaders, they ran around plundering, looting, stealing, and forcing people to be Christians, or they would kick them out of their houses, kick them out of their land, or they would kill them. And if they didn't become Christian, if they became Christian, everything was cool. This went on for centuries, y'all. And one of the main things that we talk about, or we celebrate in America, is Christopher Columbus Day. And what we don't realize is that during Christopher Columbus Day was the peak of the Inquisition. This was a major time when the Christian Crusaders had their fleet going around the world, converting people all around the world to Christianity. So y'all got to realize, man, you not only were you forced, but you're probably trying to force people to be Christians. In fact, I'm gonna read something out of this book. I'm gonna put it up on the screen for you so you can see what I'm saying. Because a lot of people don't realize their history. Some people come to me and talk about Black history, they African American, et cetera, but they go all the way to slavery, but then they can't tell you anything past slavery. Well, I've been down that road, y'all. I'm here to help y'all get to the next level. I'm telling y'all, you got to get out of the Christianity mindset, because that is a slave mindset. You were forced to. Okay? I'm gonna read this little insert by Christopher Columbus when he wrote to the king and queen, basically asking for permission to sail the seas to look for India, to basically help convert them and to Christianity. But let's read a little bit about this. It says, "Most Christian, most high, excellent, and the mighty prince, king and queen of Spain and the islands of the seas, our lords. In this present year, 1492, after your highnesses had brought to an end of the war with those Moors who had been reigning in Europe." So who was in Europe reigning before the people in Europe? Moors, Black people. That was their land. Let's keep going. "Finishing that war in the very great city of Granada, where this present year, on the second day of January 1st, the second day of January, I saw the royal banners of your highness placed by force of arms on the towers of Alhambra, which is the fortress of the said city. And I saw the Moorish king come out of the gates of the city and kiss the royal hands of your highness and of my lord the prince." So that insert basically talks about how the Moors gave up Europe during 1492. We don't never hear about that. How 1492, 1491, 1490, that Europe was run by Black people. want to read a little bit more. I'm going to go to page 83, same book. This is chapter 7. It actually talks about, the title of the chapter actually is called The Other 1492. But I'm going to put that up on the screen right here. And I'm just going to read right here, this little middle section. Now, excuse me saying these names, some of these words. I might mess up. I'm not a perfect reader, but y'all can read it for yourself. But it says, Don Diego Hurtado de Mendoza, a knight who took part in the conquest, adds to this in his own history of the event. Of the Moors who remained alive, wow, some became peaceful and others went to North Africa. I want to stop there because if you watch my video on Moors and Mute, you see I talked about how the Moors built Spain, North Africa, and also North America. And this is how you know that you are Moor, because the Moors built Africa, Spain, and North America. Well, how do we know that? Well, go to the House of Representatives, 1933, Philadelphia Resolution 75. Google that. House of Representatives recognized the Moors for building Africa, North Africa, Spain, and Americas. You might not know who built North Africa and Spain, but you know who built America. And they're telling you all of them the same people. Put 2 and 2 together, y'all. Let's keep reading a little bit more. It says, as for the remaining rebels, they were finished off by patrols, by the cold of the mountains, and by misfortune, and thus ended the war and the uprising. Of the houses and the lands that had been vacated by the Moors who fled, the great ones were granted in recognition of their services to Spanish noblemen. So the Spanish people got the great houses of the Moors. It said the Spanish noblemen who had taken part in the conquest, and the small houses, or the small ones, were allotted to the modest annual rents to any Christian subject who wanted to resettle in them. So not only did they kick the Moors out, but they took their land, took their houses, made the ones who stayed convert, right? I can read something else in there about the Inquisition. But you know what? My whole thing is this. I'm not about to keep going through all of this. Y'all really need to look up the Inquisition, man, and see how you was forced to be Christians. See how Moorish people are the original people. You can't go around saying black people are the original people. And I hate to say that the word black, but that's another video you should check out. But you can't go around saying you're original people and then don't know who the original people are, or what the original people did, what the original people believed in. Okay? So with that being said, y'all, peace and love spread throughout the ether. I hope this message receives you in peace.